Hey, how are we doing today? I'm Evan Kahn.
And I'm Marlon Clarkson.
We'll be your host today, and this is TC Talks.
The podcast where we talk to TC and TC talks back.
How are we doing today?
Doing good.
Doing really good. Awesome. We have our two guests today, Kathrine Albright and Stuart Stucky, both who are in choir with us, and we want to interview them today and ask you a few questions.
Yeah, so Stuart, if you could start off and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a senior here at TC. In choir, obviously, as they said. I'm in a few of the art classes as well. That's about it. Don't do anything too terribly interesting besides choir. It's good.
So how long have you been in choir, Stuart?
Since my 8th grade year. So about 5.
So in your 5 years of choir, has there been anything that's really stuck out to you that's kept you in choir this long?
Kind of just, it's almost like its own small community, kind of, which has kind of just kept me there, you know?
Yeah.
It's a nice, safe place.
Especially since me and you started in blue choir back our freshman year.
Yeah.
And we had some fun times.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Kathrine Albright. I'm also a senior here. I'm also in choir, and that's kind of all I do. Music is basically my only personality trait. I'm involved in other community things, but here at Columbian, I'm really just a choir kid.
So, how long have you been in choir then?
I've been in choir at TC since I moved here in the 8th grade, so 5 years.
Okay. Now, when you started in your freshman year, you would have been in gold choir, correct?
Yes.
And how is that experience different from concert choir this year and last year?
Well, it was really similar, also because I went straight to concert choir my sophomore year, just because it worked better with my schedule, and I asked nicely because I wanted to be with my friends. But I really didn't feel a big difference other than the fact that there were no male singers in gold choir.
Mm-hmm.
Does that affect your range or voice at all, like in tuning and tone?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Same goes for you, Stuart. Do the female voices from going from an all boys choir, which there was like 7 of us our freshman year,
Yeah.
to a full choir where there's 2 big groups of both boys and girls? Does that affect your tuning, tone?
A bit. My falsetto's gotten a bit better, so, you know,
Okay.
that's about it.
Easier to match the falsetto with the rest of them.
Yeah.
So this is now a little bit of a question directed towards both of you. Going back, thinking about when you first started elementary school, when everybody was mandated to take a music class of the basic level, was there anything back then that led you to believe that you'd be doing choir up until today?
It's a good question. From what I can remember back then, I enjoyed the music class. I was okay at it, but I never thought this is something I'm gonna go after, But then eventually, I just happened.
So then your time in Tiffin Columbian's choir has kind of expanded on that little bit of enjoyment to now wow, I really do like doing this.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot more now. It's something I thoroughly enjoy.
You, Kathy?
Well, I've been doing music stuff since I was a really little kid. It's always been my hobby. I did it, well, it was mandated at my old school, but I still enjoyed it. I always signed up for the extra things. So doing choir was a no-brainer. There was no other option.
It was you got to high school and it was I'm doing it.
Yeah. The thought of not doing it was weird.
Yeah.
So do either of you plan on pursuing a career or post-secondary education in the music field?
I'd like to. I'm still very much unsure of what I'm going to do. I'm still thinking, but it would be something I am interested in. It is something I would like to look into more.
Would it be more Broadway type things, or would it be teaching?
Either or, maybe. I'm not
Either or.
sure. Yeah.
Well, I'm pursuing not so much music, but theater education. My interest in music primarily lies in performance, so I'm looking to pursue theater education alongside just a normal education degree.
Yeah.
So kind of what Mr. Steyer does for the
Mr. Steyer
musicals here.
directing, working in the schools,
Yeah.
but also in the extracurriculars that involve music.
Nice.
So with your plan for a general education degree, was there any specific subject that you would plan on teaching or would go for, or just
Definitely English. I tried biology.
Not your
No
steak.
way.
Yeah.
Tried out music. Music education is way harder than most people would believe.
Yeah.
That major is so work heavy, and it's such a major time commitment.
Yeah. What a lot of people don't realize is when you do get your music education degree, you're kind of doing a double major with not only you're getting your music degree, but you're also getting an education degree all in one major. So it's kind of like a pseudo double major. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's a lot more work than what people think it is and what people give credit for.
Sure.
Like, you gotta go to school, you gotta actually put in the work, and you gotta be good at it.
Yeah.
You can't just go in and be like, oh, and then, be a teacher.
Yeah. So staying on the topic of post-secondary education, do either of you have any universities or schools you plan on attending or have been looking into?
I haven't necessarily really looked. I have a lot of colleges that sent me emails and stuff, so I have options.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked too much yet, so.
It's like the 30 emails you've
Yeah.
get from
Yeah.
your school email from
Yeah.
colleges you never heard of.
Yeah.
The second you hit senior years, like all these random colleges
Yeah.
from like all over the country.
We want you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I have already been accepted into all of the universities I'm looking at, which is pretty cool. I'm looking at BGSU and Heidelberg University, but primarily Heidelberg. BGSU is my fallback school because Heidelberg is expensive.
Heidelberg is very expensive. Yeah.
White.
Yes. So, since Kathy, you are going to pursue a degree in theater education and general education, are there any teachers in specific or in general that have kind of led you that path or have inspired you to take that career?
Well, obviously Mrs. Rich. I've been working with her since I moved here, and she's always been one of my favorite teachers. She really inspires me because she's so patient, especially when working with high schoolers is definitely not the easiest thing. But like outside of that, my directors with Heidelberg doing their teen shows and children's shows, they've always pushed me to do better and to really pursue it and not be discouraged because I'm not really good at the technical part of music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notes and rhythms. But
Yeah.
play the note on the piano, I'll sing it.
C flat. What?
No, what's a flat? What's
Sharp?
What's a C? What's a B?
And you, Stuart?
Kind of the same. Mrs. Ridge, I mean, she's the reason I got into choir because back in 7th grade, she still teaches music appreciation. I was one of the few kids who sung out, did all the stuff they were supposed to do, did their work. So every paper she would write, hey, you should join choir next year. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And at the end of the year, I was like, sure, why not? And I did it, and it was a really great time, and I've continued doing it, and it's been really, really great.
Nice. Kind of based off what Rylan asked you, have there been any even stars, like from Hollywood or stuff like that have inspired you to do music now, back then, like musicians, bands, groups, stuff like that?
I mean, I'm sure they are, but I probably wouldn't be able to specify anyone specifically. I think music in general has kind of inspired me to do music. So, I mean, because I listen to a whole slew of different kinds of music. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm also kind of the same way. I find myself inspired by a lot of like bedroom pop artists. Like you find them on Spotify, and then 3 months later they're on billboards.
Yeah.
It's really cool that kind of success is so achievable.
Yeah.
Especially with streaming services and stuff like YouTube. It's so easy to get out there. It's so cool.
Yeah. So kind of taking this back a little bit to choir, I know Stuart said that part of it being like a community and a safe space with choir is kind of like some of the things he likes about it. What are some other your guys' favorite things about just being in a high school choir program?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a good place to make friends as well. You can go in there. You can go in not being good at music, and not understanding it. Like even now, I've been here for 5 years. I don't understand everything. I'm not amazing, but I'm better than I was when I began. And it's just you see a lot of improvement in these people that are with you this entire time, which is also inspiring in a way. Which is something I like. I like to see how people improve and how I improve. Would be another thing, yeah.
It's kind of like to see like your buddy,
Yeah.
like if Jono started when you were like this year or something
Yeah.
like that, and to see him grow as a musician, or Griffin or any of the underclassmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's the fact that choir's optional.
Hmm.
So it's the fact that so many different people and different types of people are coming together to do this one thing that they're passionate about. Because like if you look at our choir, we're very diverse. Like it's not like, oh, you're just a choir kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you also do so many other extracurriculars, and it's types of people that you wouldn't really meet outside of something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good collective and a mixture.
Yeah, it's
Hodgepodge.
it's a
if
very
you will.
diverse group. Like for example, Evan, he does baseball and stuff, so a little bit of a sport kid here. We've got a football player, a wrestler. We've got runners
Esports.
and track, esports, and then obviously there are the musicians like us, and then just people like Stuart.
Just a guy.
Just a guy.
just a guy who is pretty great. Just
Yeah.
came in and was like, I'm here now.
Mind his own
Mhm.
business. He reads a lot. Stuart
Yeah,
I do.
reads a
Yeah.
lot. He's always reading.
Yeah.
If you guys could take anything to improve either the atmosphere or the program itself, what do you think you guys would do, like music wise or just community wise?
It's a really good question.
I have an answer.
Yeah.
I really wish that, and although this sounds a little material, you don't need anything more than just a group of people who want to sing together. But I really wish that we had a better funding program. I wish that there was more support for the arts. I know that there's a lot of support for sports and everything, and it's like that because they also bring in money, and the arts don't really do that as much.
Yeah.
But I really wish that we had more funding so we could afford things like new choir robes,
For sure.
to be able to travel like so many other choirs do,
Mm-hmm.
do more things, more than just the bare minimum
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
And props to Mrs. Rich because she's doing amazing
Yeah.
with what she has.
Yep.
But it's very unfortunate that there's not as much funding as
Most
I wish there
definitely.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many of you watching may not know this, but before COVID, we did have other choirs too. We had choristers, which was a little bit of show choir, and we also had a blue choir. After COVID, our numbers dropped and our funding dropped, so now we're down to just concert and gold choir. And it's just really unfortunate to see programs, especially like choristers, where that was like an even extra kind of choir thing that was even more like narrowed down and exclusive to the people who like to sing and dance and perform and go the extra mile when it comes to performing like that. And then part of like the blue choir experience was getting that fundamentals as a bass voice.
Yeah.
Gold choir is still around, and that's fundamentals for the treble voices. But as someone who's first joining choir in high school as an underclassman, you're immediately put into concert choir, which is a lot harder music, where we have split parts between like baritones and tenors, really low bass, really high baritone, divises, and all that stuff. So it's just really unfortunate that we don't have like the means and the funds to have more.
Especially with the numbers thing. Like me and Stuart back our
Yeah.
freshman year, we were part of Blue Choir, and there was even then there was only like what?
8 people, I
8
think, in
people?
total, yeah. It
Yeah,
was the
but-
smallest it had been, I think Mrs. Ridge said that year.
Yeah, we were the smallest Blue Choir class that she had since she started teaching.
Yeah.
And now it's just me and Stuart left, and we're both in concert choir.
Yep.
Which is really sad because, to go off what you said, Rylan, that is a good intro for a bass voice.
Yeah.
Or for a male voice.
Yeah.
And with concert choir, again, really differentiating parts of high and low. Like, even this year, I just joined choir back again after 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I had been doing it since 4th grade.
Yeah.
I did it 4th and 5th, all through middle school, my freshman year, then COVID hit, and how my schedule worked, I did online. So, and I wasn't gonna get up for one period, go back home and come back for band. So I just dropped it, and I didn't get the tuning of the more formal way of singing. I kind of had to tune my own voice.
Mm-hmm.
So coming back in, I was out of whack. So
Yeah.
I had to like readjust my voice to this more choral singing instead of
Yeah.
the distortion I wanted to put on my voice.
Yeah. As, you know, all of us being members of choir for a while, I mean, I probably am the least amount. This is only my second year of doing choir.
Just
But-
a baby.
All of us doing choir, do you think that the more, like, I guess, layman person in music, do you think that they can get a benefit from being in not only just, like, our Tiffin Columbia Choir program, but going out and singing in something like Heidelberg's Community Chorus, just having that musical experience in general?
You got something? I don't have any. I don't have anything yet.
I say yes, always yes. Not to be like poetic and like ushy gushy about it, but music is like, it is literally ingrained in like people. It's part of our society and who we are as like a species.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone should experience music, whether it be just listening to it or making it themselves. Like work, and especially working with that group, it teaches you a lot more than just music. Like it's thinking more than just about yourself. Like you have to work together.
It's a good teamwork,
Yeah.
bonding
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
environment, yeah.
it's, you know, a group coming together is, especially with like choir and stuff, usually people of all different ages and demographics, and just all coming together like for one common goal, to put like one piece together, and like becoming like not being 50 individual people, but just being one choir.
And to make it flow and
Yeah.
to make it sound
Yeah.
good, and yeah. Stuart?
I mean, yeah, it's a good thing to do. I mean, she hit all the good points, so
You heard it here, guys. Join choir.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Come on,
it's a great
Freddie
place.
here.
Pretty please.
Yeah.
Pretty please.
We don't bite.
Yeah.
We just sing in the hallways.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's
a great time.
We just sing
We just sing in
Yeah.
the hallways. Some of us.
Yeah.
Some of us.
So, as we're wrapping up here, are there any like last thoughts, words that you'd like to say, just in general about choir, join choir, or you know, just anything?
I mean, kind of go off what we just said. Just, you know, if you're interested, keep in mind it's not just about your voice individually. It's everyone's voices, you know, together. So even if you don't think you're great, think about how you might be with other people. You know, if you just need something to do, more friends to make, join choir. It's fun time, guys.
And if you're afraid because you think that you sound bad or you don't know how to sing, do not be afraid. Okay, it's more than just don't be afraid.
Yeah.
But know that no one's going to make fun of you for sounding bad. You mess up, we all mess up. It happens. We keep moving, and I've never heard someone in choir be like, yeah, that was bad. Don't sing anymore.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. Join choir. Support the arts.
Say
please.
it's a pretty bully-free
Bully-free
zone.
Yeah,
zone.
it's a safe space.
Say-
Except for some people.
Well,
But they
Yeah.
do it on we do it on purpose for fun.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Like-
it's all in good fun.
It's
Yeah.
all in good fun.
All right, well, that has been episode 1 of TC Talks. Our lovely guests, Stuart Stucky, Kathrine Albright. Thank you so much for coming on short notice. to
Very
come-
short notice, and
to,
much appreciated.
yes, for coming on and interviewing. So, very much appreciate it. It's been Rylan Clarkson,
Evan Kahn?
and we'll see you.